I'm Tom Johnson, Thomas Johnson Antique Furniture Restoration in Gorham, Maine. I like the nature shot at the beginning of this video you're about to see. That's a hummingbird moth, which I had never heard of until I saw this one. I like this video, very good close-ups of the details of the work. And I especially like the carving videography. In fact, some of those close-up clips, it sort of looks like I know what I'm doing. I did include the usual disclaimers. When making the missing pieces, I didn't orient the grain in the same direction as it was originally, as that was really the problem. I've never been sure about that decision. Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, like, subscribe, share. I'd really appreciate it. I'm Tom Johnson, Thomas Johnson Antique Furniture Restoration in Gorham, Maine. This is a nice little antique frame, late Victorian, late 19th century. It's made of solid walnut, and it's got a real kind of a woodland motif here with these leaves carved. And the problem is that some of the carving is missing. So here you have a piece missing. I'm going to number these, make it easier to do before and after shots. This piece is broken almost in the identical place as the other one, right near the nail. This is a smaller piece. And the fourth one is, that's a big piece of putty or something there, so it's even a larger repair piece than the others. This intact corner is a bit loose. I'm going to see if I can get it off of there. That'll make it really easy to measure the thickness and trace the shape. These are tiny square cut brads. I'll see if I can't tap them out. Good thing I swept the floor this morning. It looks like 9/32 of an inch, or 4.6 millimeters. I found a nice thin piece of walnut in the scrap pile. I still got to plane it down some. The original piece, the grain was running this way. In other words, they made this out of one piece of wood and the grain runs this way. And of course that's why they broke across the short grain. My repair pieces, I'm just going to run the grain straight.
I'm a little bit short in this area here. Before I glue this down, I think I'll try another one, see if I can get better at finding where this joint should be. Okay, that's where I think the line should be. This time I'll cut it back a little bit. Give me better chances to fit it. Yeah, see, the first piece I tried too hard to cut at the right angle. Now I've got extra wood there. Yeah, that looks good. Now, I like to take the ragged bits off that inside corner. Okay, I've got 2 more pieces to do, and I'm going to do those off camera. I'll be back to glue them on. All right, tomorrow I can start carving. All right. All right, now the carving begins. I think that'll work.
This is a good time to point out that this is not a video about how to carve. This is a video about me making you think that maybe I know what I'm doing here.
All right, this one doesn't look too bad after the first one. I think I should fill that gap before I do any more carving.
Okay, I've sanded all these repaired areas with 100. Now I'm going to sand with 150 and then 220. Okay, all sanded. Now I'm going to tape off the frame before I stain these. I'm guessing it's going to be one of three stains, medium brown walnut, medium walnut, or perfect brown.
Well, that's not bad. I could just stop there. This is medium walnut. Yeah, just as I suspected, it could be too red. Now we'll try the medium brown walnut. Yeah, I think the medium brown walnut is the best one. It's got just the right level of redness. Yeah, I think it's going to work just fine. Okay, now I can glue this carving back on. Luckily I have my little locator pins here. Okay, let's put some shellac on these and see what they look like. Yesterday evening, off camera, I applied another coat of shellac, just like the first one. Now I want to cut it back again and then apply more shellac. You can see how grainy it is. I'm going to use 500 free cut paper here. I like cutting back that graininess with paper, but at the same time I don't want to go through the finish and to the bare wood. So I'll do it a little with some paper, just gently. The paper is good for getting down into those incisions. But then I'll finish with Scotch-Brite ultra-fine gray pad. And the paper is best for the edge. All right, it's looking good. I've let this dry for 2 days. I think it needs at least one more coat, so I'm going to do the same routine again. Same routine, careful sanding with 500 grit free cut paper, then a Scotch-Brite pad, and this time I'm going to go over the entire carving. I'm going to give the entire carved corner pieces a coat of shellac. I'm going to set these nails. This is the piece I didn't work on, the piece that I took off. I'm going to set these nails, check any other nails. I'll fill those holes with a rub-in wax stick. On this one, this is my joint, and I've got a pretty good opening there, a little bit there, and a little more there. I want to fill those in with something that won't shrink back. I'm going to use shellac sticks. Let it cool down, and then I'll sand it with a little 500. Okay, all the carvings are braided. I'm gonna just give them a quick wipe of the Mohawk wax wash remover. It just helps to remove any contaminants. This is the largest piece that I carved. This is the smallest piece that I carved. Okay, I've let this shellac dry for about 6 days. You know, we all know shellac's a fast drying finish, but you really need to give it time to truly dry. As you can see, the shellac is very high sheen, and we need to cut that back a bit. I'm going to use a combination of pumice and this orange oil polish. I typically don't measure, but I am for the purpose of this video. I'm going to use about a ½ ounce of this beeswax orange oil polish. That would be about 15 milliliters. And I'll use a ¼ teaspoon, or about 2½ grams, of this 2F pumice. I'll use a stencil brush. Yeah, that cut the sheen down nicely. I hope you can see the difference between this sheen and that sheen, which I haven't rubbed out yet. Okay, I think I can go ahead and do the rest of the carvings. Okay, now I'll go over the rest of the frame with a little bit of the orange oil and beeswax polish and some 4/0 steel wool. So, here we are, a nice little Victorian frame, late Victorian, late 19th century, early 20th century. And all that was wrong was there were some pieces of these carvings missing. And I put wood on there and carved them out as best I could. So I've got about 6 hours in this job. I used the table saw, thickness planer, bandsaw, and these hand tools. Here's the first one. Here's the second one. Here's the third one. And the fourth one. I think it looks pretty good.
Let's try something here.